Welcome to Mind the Major. I am C Major. First and foremost, I want to give a few shout outs to some new family members. That would be Comical Canadian, Miss Dorothy from BCCC, my man Frankie G, and Lotus Flower. I hope you're feeling alright as you're watching the video. I love all y'all, my Mind the Major family. I know everybody been locked in. Hopefully everybody been locked in during the pandemic, trying to keep themselves safe, so forth. You know what I mean? But I know it could be hard because after you're in the house for so long, the average person tends to get a little stir crazy or, cabin fever and all that. Because I know I went downstairs a few days ago and I go up in the kitchen. Grandkids was in the house. I go up in the kitchen and I get bum rushed. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Give me 6 feet. Next thing I know, all three of them kicked me twice. Come on, stay with me. All right. On a more serious note, though, right? Everybody trying to figure out with the whole COVID-19 thing. Everybody want to know the origins. Can't nobody say for sure the true origins of the virus. You know, you got some people say, oh, government conspiracy, as far as chemical weapon, something like that, chemical weapon terrorist attack type. Then you got some people say alien attack, right? But then you got some people that just say I don't even know what the average person would even think of saying something so idiotic. To me, it's just idiotic. It doesn't make sense. Would you say the virus came from people in Wuhan eating the hindquarters of bats? So you mean to tell me that this worldwide pandemic came from somebody eating some bad bat butt? Bad bat butt, right? Then it went all from, oh, it came from the Wuhan shopping district. Then you see the videos of them killing dogs and all different kind of animals or whatever. And then people jump on these Chinese people or whatever and, blaming them for it's crazy. Because if people, they get so offended when they see they was over there killing dogs and cats and eating dogs and cats. Let me tell you something. If you're the type of person that enjoys your Chinese food, and you've been eating Chinese food pretty much all your life, let's just be real about something. Let's just be 100% real. Chances are that you didn't already had some dog or cat or monkey or something that you thought was beef or pork. And I'm not saying it in a malicious manner, to talk bad about these people or anything. But it's been proven. You can look it up where they've had raids on different Chinese food places and went in and found meats from different types of animal that weren't actually on the menu. So just know, and just be honest with yourself. You've never had any beef that tasted like the beef from a Chinese restaurant. You've never had any pork that tasted like the pork from a Chinese restaurant. You've never had any chicken, not diced up chicken anyway, that tastes like chicken from a Chinese restaurant, unless you're buying chicken wings. So let's just be real with yourself. When you sit around and act like you're so sickened by what you see in these videos of the Wuhan market or whatever, just know you shouldn't be. Because if you enjoy your Chinese food, you probably more than likely enjoy your dog. But I'm going to keep it funky. I had Chinese food since the pandemic started. I didn't have beef. I didn't have beef, pork, or chicken, but I indeed had shrimp, and I quite enjoyed it. But moving right along, I heard someone speaking on, oh, it was chemical attack. They just a couple days ago they arrested some. I should have googled this guy's name or whatever, but whatever. You can do that. They locked the scientist up, saying that he was getting money from China, gave him all this money to come over there and build a laboratory, and he was working for them, and this, that, and the third. So I guess they're trying to tie him in with the whole COVID thing or whatever. No, I don't know whether or not to even look at that. I don't know if that's he's being turned into a pansy or I don't know. I actually don't know. Then I've heard some people say, well, it probably came from aliens. And I say, you're possibly right. And I won't jump into it, all the way. But honestly, if you actually think that Earthlings are the only intelligent life form in this vast universe, we're the only intelligent life form, really? The people that have our current president as the leader of the free world, can we really be considered intelligent life form? We can't be the only intelligent life form in the universe. Let's be real. But I was looking at something on the news maybe a couple months or so ago, and it showed, the space shuttle has landed after orbiting the Earth for 2 years. So first of all, I was saying to myself, space shuttle. Obama decommissioned the space shuttles during his presidency. So how would a space shuttle be still in operation? But then the kicker was that the space shuttle was an unmanned space shuttle. Now, they didn't have any unmanned space shuttles in operation when they were commissioned. So it was kind of mind boggling to say, well, it just came back. It was orbiting the Earth for 2 years. Okay, what was it doing? What was the mission? Why was it orbiting the Earth for 2 years? This what was said Never heard anything about it being there during the 2 years it was supposed to be there, but this was the story. So I even tried to look it up online to see what the actual mission was, what the 2 year mission was, and I actually couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything in reference to the actual mission. But you gotta look at stuff for what it is. You have meteors that enter the Earth's atmosphere daily, most of which that burn up or whatever. But no telling what was trapped inside of that meteor. It could have been something released from a meteor that burned up in our atmosphere. Who's to say? Can't say with 100% certainty that it wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? But when you have someone, me myself, when you have someone like me that I'm a thinker, okay? Me myself, I'm a thinker. So you just can't tell me something that doesn't make the slightest bit of sense to me and expect me to just believe it, and go on like, you can't tell me that snow is blue, Okay, so that's blue. It's not white, it's blue. Okay. No, can't do that with me, right? But I say, even if it was a chemical thing, if it was something, when you say alien, that doesn't mean alien spacecrafts. Oh, take us to your leader type. No, anything off world is considered alien. So if a meteor was to enter Earth's atmosphere and burn up or whatever and release something, it would be considered as alien. Okay. Now, one other thing I wanted to speak on. What I say that the chemical thing with the doctor, the alien thing with the meteors, but the thing with the bad bat butt, you know, I, I say you'd have been better off if you're going to tell somebody, if you're going to throw that out there. Why didn't you just tell the people that it came from unicorn farts or something? Why not? You know, this mythical rainbow hopping horse with one horn in his head farted and released a pandemic across the whole entire globe. I mean, that sounds a little better to me. It sounds a little more exciting to me than somebody ate some bad bat butt and now the whole world's sick. All right, but one thing I do want to touch on during this whole crisis, right? There's been some people, which some people might consider very important people. I don't know. Sorry for the technical difficulties. As I was saying, these so called important people, important to some, but not really to me, were putting out false information, detrimental false information, coming online, uh, insinuating that people of color that were saying that they had contracted COVID-19 were actually being paid to do so, knowing that you have millions of people that follow you that could actually take your word as being truth. You have to wear the fact that when those numbers came out and those polls that they did from different states, and majority of the people that passed away from COVID-19 were actually people of color, you have to wear that. I'm not going to say your name, but I'm quite sure anybody on here more than likely knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say your name, but you have to wear that. What you said could have actually contributed to the deaths of thousands of people. The ignorance that you chose to get on the internet and spew could have emboldened people to rebel against what they were being told for their own safety, which could have led to their demise. You have to wear that. You have to wear that. I thought about something. It's crazy. That's really crazy. That is really crazy. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing, but it is crazy. And I hope that you would never, ever do something so negligent again as long as you breathe air. As long as you breathe air. Because technically, me, I believe you should have been one of them. Just for you spreading that misinformation, I feel as though you should have been one of them. And it hurt me to even say something like that out of my mouth. But just to know that some of those people could actually be in that situation because of what you got out there and said. But I the whole thing, the most important thing that I got from this though, I thought about something that our past president said a long time ago. Ronald Reagan. A lot of y'all might not even be familiar with Ronald Reagan. So if you're not actually of age to really know who it is I'm talking about, I implore you to watch the rest of the video and then Google him. But Ronald Reagan was given, I think, a State of the Union address. And he was speaking on the differences that people had. And he said that it would probably take an actual alien attack to bring people together on one accord. If something like that happened, people wouldn't think about someone being of another race. People wouldn't think about someone being different, having different views, and so on. And, you know what I mean? Everybody would be banding together regardless of what, just for the mere survival of our species. And right now, that is exactly what's happening. If it's one bright spot that came from this whole COVID-19 pandemic thing, it's the fact that a lot of people set aside petty differences. A lot of people set aside petty differences simply to work together for a greater good. A lot of people put aside petty differences to work on one accord. But the thing that remains to be seen is, will it last? Will it last? The person that's been looking out for people, feeding people that's hungry and this, that, and the third, banding together, not looking at the person next to them in the same light that they did 2 months ago, maybe. Because at this present time, it it's a thing where as though it's nothing that separates us. At this time, nothing separates you from the person standing next to you, regardless of how you are actually different. At this point, nothing separates you. It's kind of amazing. When you think about it, it's kind of amazing. But will it last? Will it last? I think that only time will tell. Oh, and I forgot one. When I was saying all these things that people would, biblical prophecy. Biblical prophecy. Right? Natural disasters. Right? Natural disasters, uh, uh, plague, earthquakes, all this type of stuff. Right? And if you pay attention to signs and stuff like that, yeah, you could attribute a lot of this stuff to the words and, revelations. You could. But for the first time in recent history anyway, Easter has pretty much been canceled in the way that the average person knows it. You understand what I'm saying? Because Easter has become commercial, has been, has been commercialized for a long time. People tend to attribute certain things to the economy, commercialize it to boost the economy. I said you got to take things, you have to take things and you have to spin them. You have to spin them. Because, be totally honest, you ask the average child, what's the meaning of Easter? That's the day we we get to put on new clothes and we get new shoes and we go looking for eggs and we eat jelly beans and the Easter bunny and it ain't nothing about the Easter bunny in no daggone Bible. How in the heck did the how the heck did a rabbit get involved? If nothing else, if nothing else, I think people that have children should, if you're into that type thing, you should take the children, sit them down with the Bible, and give them the real story of Easter, of where Easter comes from. You understand? Next year, he still probably be back to his commercialized state and it'll be back to normal. But at this time, that's what I feel the average person with a young child that doesn't really know the meaning of the actual day should be doing. But I didn't really want to drag this out like this. I only planned for it to be one video, but I'm not all that savvy with this stuff like that. So if I had to put it between two videos, because I ain't going to front, the camera cut off as soon as I was getting, but I'm quite sure y'all know that by now, right? So if I can't put them together, it'll be two. But either way, wanted to tap in with the family. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, share. Good minds think alike. I'm your boy C Major, and I'm out of here. How the hell are you still on? Cut the fuck off, stupid.